Diamonds, tainted in blood, dubious transactions, and a supply chain rife with human rights abuses. The extraction and trade of these gems often fuel armed rebel movements across multiple African nations. For decades, the industry has not only exploited Africa's valuable resources, but has also played a role in financing Israel's military actions against Palestinian civilians and sustaining its illegal occupation of its territories. This is the Israel Diamond Exchange in Tel Aviv. Located in Ramat Gan, it is a pivotal hub in global diamond industry. Israel has been a major player in both import and export of diamonds. In 2022 alone, Israel exported $10.5 billion worth of it, ranking it the world's fifth largest diamond exporter, with diamonds being the country's top export product. Now, this is a map of Palestine and Golan Heights. All of this area is occupied by Israel currently. However, there are no diamond mines to be found. So where do all these diamonds come from? And is Israel's largest export connected to their second largest export, war crimes and apartheid? In the early 1930s, Zionists from Europe brought their expertise in diamond cutting and trading to Palestine. These Zionists, particularly from Belgium and the Netherlands, both centers of global colonialism and apartheid, began small-scale operations to process and trade diamonds, exploiting the relations in the Belgian Congo and South Africa. From the beginning, even before the establishment of Israel and the Nakba, the Zionist diamond trade benefited from European apartheid and colonialism in Africa, projected it overseas before bringing it back home. Let's explore Israel's relationship with these five countries, its main suppliers from Africa. South Africa supplied rough diamonds to Israel throughout its history as an apartheid nation. In these mines, poor ventilation, dust exposure, and frequent cave-ins led to high rates of fatality. Black miners were paid a fraction of what white workers earned. Black workers were often subjected to contract labor systems, which forced them into long-term, low-wage employment with no rights to leave. Past laws controlled black workers' movements, ensuring they remained in the mines or designated labor areas. Workers were housed in closed compounds to prevent them from leaving or engaging in union activities. These diamonds were processed in Israel and re-exported to international markets. Despite international sanctions and boycotts, Israel was among the countries that continued to trade with South Africa, offering the country's diamond industry a loophole around these sanctions. Israel and Zionist enterprises in Palestine before its creation benefited from Congolese diamond supply routes, courtesy of Belgian imperialism. However, Israel's direct involvement in the region began during the First Congo War. In 1997, a young Dan Gertler traveled to Kinshasa, befriending the later President Joseph Kabila. Through this connection, he secured a deal giving him exclusive rights over the country's entire diamond market for a payment of $20 million. This was a loan to buy more weapons to supposedly suppress the rebels. According to the UN, by 2013 alone, this deal had cost the Congo $3.71 billion, a loss secured by a mere $20 million worth of weaponry. Countless crimes against humanity were committed for Israel to steal this money, and countless more were committed as a result. From 2002 to 2007, the Ivory Coast experienced a civil war with rebel groups controlling parts of the country. These groups used diamond sales to fund their operations and buy weaponry, leading to the classification of Ivorian diamonds as conflict diamonds. In 2005, the UN imposed sanctions, banning the export of Ivory Coast diamonds to prevent rebel financing. Israel, however, helped the rebels circumvent this sanction, at a huge profit, that is. As a result, Israel was accused of engaging in blood diamond trade by the UN in 2009. Israel denied this and claimed to have been following the Kimberley process while offering no evidence whatsoever. Interestingly, actually, the Kimberley process is an international certificate scheme established in 2003 with little success so far to prevent the trade of conflict diamonds. However, later on, when there was a proposal in 2015 to include human rights violations to the definition of conflict diamonds, Israel voted to stop that. Liberia, under Charles Taylor, became a hub for smuggling conflict diamonds, particularly those from Sierra Leone, which were used to finance Taylor's regime despite international sanctions and UN restrictions. Israel again helped Taylor loop around them. A 2000 UN panel of experts report on Sierra Leone documented how Liberia was exporting diamonds that originated from rebel-controlled areas of Sierra Leone, violating UN sanctions to Israeli traders. Israeli arms dealers were also involved with Charles Taylor's regime, with some involved in exchanging weapons for diamonds. One of the Israeli companies that had been linked to the diamond trading in Liberia during its civil war is Diamonds for Resources Limited. Israeli diamond mogul Leviev had significant business interests in Angola, particularly through his company LLD Diamonds. Leviev's operations in Angola were linked to reports of human rights violations, including allegations of forced evictions, violence, and killing by Angolan security forces protecting diamond mining interests. Leviev, an Israeli billionaire and diamond mogul, has also been linked to the expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory. Africa-Israel Investment, also known as AFI, and its subsidiaries have been directly involved in building Israeli settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Of course, the struggle of the people of these countries are tied to that of the Palestinian people. The huge amounts of wealth stolen from Africa is a major contributing factor to upholding Israel's own apartheid and current genocide. The Zionists claiming to, quote-unquote, flee Europe benefited and continue to benefit from its white supremacy and colonial legacy. Since 2010 alone, the diamond industry has contributed almost $100 billion to the Israeli economy. Additionally, tax revenues from the diamond trade directly feed into the national budget, which heavily prioritizes defense spending. Thank you for watching. Our next video will focus on Rwanda's current involvement in Congo, an engagement Israeli diamond industry is heavily involved with.